third map, as we know this is comfortable territory for Sentinels.
I mean, the thing is, I really do want to believe, you know, I'm a regular Fox Mulder on that front. But at the end of the day, we saw this last week, right? On Bind and Haven, once the duels start to feel themselves, because, you know, it was TenZ that was, you know, getting onto sites with the Jet. We just saw them do very similar things back on Bind. I think the game plan for Sentinels on Bind and on Haven is going to be very, very similar, with the duelist sort of leading the charge. The big difference is SicK does like to play the Sky on this map, and you know, we have seen some of the utility usage of the flashes from him be a little bit substandard, but at the end of the day, I think Sentinels are the stronger team. They just play a little bit undisciplined at times. They play a little bit loose. If they come into this next game and play like that, there's chances for Knights, but I think the fate of Sentinels does lie in Sentinels' hands in this one.
Yeah, SICK Sky has been good. I mean, he's worked on it and it looked great in Champions and is now looking still pretty good while he's been playing it on stuff like Haven. You know how Sentinels are going to play here. And the key to victory for Knights is shut down TenZ. Unfortunately, that is way easier to say than it is to do. And even though people like Ban and Skuba still had a good map on Bind, they couldn't stop TenZ and SicK. So it doesn't matter if you're putting up the kills. Those are just stats at the end of the day. If you allow their star players to still have star performances, they're going to be winning rounds.
You know, I wanted to whistle the X-Files theme after that reference, but I was afraid I'd get us DMCA'd, so I decided not to. We're going to get ready to jump into the agent selection here in just a second, looking at Haven. We kind of talked about it. We know what to expect to a certain degree from Sentinels because we actually kind of, I don't want to say we gave them grief for it, but we were a little bit disappointed because the composition did feel a little bit stale when we watched them play the other day against Energy. It was a 13-11 win for them, so sure, they found the victory. I don't think they're going to struggle as difficult or as much as they did against Energy as they will here with the Knights. I think the Knights are definitely slightly outmatched, but let's go ahead and pull up that agent select so we can see who's going to be locking in what. Will we get the Neon? They said they'd pick it. I mean, I'm just saying they called it out.
Is there some kind of disciplinary measure if they don't follow through?
I think they should have to forfeit the match. Give Pittsburgh Knights the first win. I think that's only fair because we were promised Neon. We did not get Neon. We'll see here in just a second when we get into the agent selection. You know, I do wonder if someone will actually have the guts to pick Neon at all throughout this early part of the group stages. I think now would be a kind of a risky time, though, for Sentinels there.
Yeah, not expecting to see that come through. Although if they don't lock it in, maybe give 7 rounds or something to the Knights to make things fair. We'll see, though, what does end up happening, because I do think the Knights have played a wide variety of different comps overall. Like, they have played the Breach in the past. Not looking that exciting with the Knights this time around, but I do have to say the Chamber for dapr is something I'm a big fan of personally.
Yeah, that's different, right? He was playing the Cypher. That was his standard. When he played Chamber on Fracture, I thought it looked a little passive from him. And most of the people that have been getting huge value out of the Chamber have been using it kind of similarly to a Jet on defense, right? You want to be taking posted up weird off angles and then using your rendezvous to try and get out of there. I don't know what dapr's AWPing particularly looks like. He didn't show us too much of that on Fracture. This is more of us getting to look at how comfortable he is on that new Sentinel.
Yeah, I'm a little curious to see what's going to happen with dapr switching over to that role, because we have been somewhat disappointed by some players in the past with the way they play Chamber. It just felt somewhat flat, a little bit lackluster. Hopefully, though, it'll be better than dapr's performance on Haven against Energy last week, where he went 6-17. Not exactly the numbers we do expect him to put up. But we're going to go ahead and throw it over to our casters for the third and final match in the series. It's Sentinels and PK fighting for the win. Dust, Shift, it's all yours.
Look, we're not only just hoping that dapr's performance on the Chamber will be progressively better than what he had on Fracture, but we're also hoping that as Ender continues to try to make babushka references, those also progress to be a little bit better.
I don't know who needs more help at this point, Knights or Ender, you know, so send Ender your energy on social media so you can try to get past what I don't know he's going with that one. He had an X-Files and a Russian grandmother reference all within about 30 seconds. That's pretty impressive, though. Nice attempt.
Pay for that kind of content.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we're getting into Haven, and this is going to be another tough uphill climb for Knights. Haven has been such a masterclass map for Sentinels. Since TenZ has been on board, they are 31-7 on this map. That's a lot of games played and a lot of success. And, you know, there's been a couple of losses here and there, but again, just super strong. Also super strong on both sides of the map. Near 60% win rate on both attack and defense. Meanwhile, Knights, they struggle on attack on this map.
Well, here we go. Quick take already making its way through Garage as Sentinels will find the first blood. Zombs coming back up as the delayed peek happens through Long. ZiF is not able to respond to it, but there are a lot of low health pools, maybe a chance to take a couple more with him, but not going to happen. As Ban had gotten slowed up by a trademark, this will lead to a very quick plant for Sentinels.
Yeah, this is pretty much a done deal. And yeah, that is a big departure. You know, dapr was one of the guys who was still playing Cypher on this map when other people were moving more towards Killjoy and other different types of compositions, because he was so good at just pressuring A by himself in the classic way you're used to seeing on this map, you know, with the cage, with, you know, denying that information on the sewers cross and just kind of using that to really kind of set up Sentinel's default on attack, right? We all know how important A lobby control and information is on this map for both sides, particularly on full gun rounds. And so to see him on Chamber is a massive departure. I know he did at times play Killjoy on this map, but it was very rare in comparison to a Cypher, which is just such a mainstay for him. So to see him pivot to Chamber is definitely a really big move, and I'm curious to see how it's going to change how they're able to pressure A. They're going to have to use more Asher utility now than mass that sewers cross, you know, have to rely on those stars now to do it.
I think this also just kind of looking at the confidence that dapr has been able to showcase over the course of the last 2 maps, being kind of a clutch god. If he feels the need to say, hey, let's give this a try, I think you say, all right, dapr, do what you want, brother. So we'll see how things unfold this time around. Sentinels primed up for a hit towards B.
I was just going to say, it's not as if dapr is not used to changing agents. I mean, he's even played different agents on Icebox at times. He's played Viper, you know, and so he has been able to show the ability to cross when he's needed to, as Sentinels just run Knights through the blender of that B-bomb site. Let me tell you, that's going to go down, and that's it. 2-0, as you'd expect.
And 2 quick takes, too. That's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of look back over Sentinels versus NRG, and there are moments where it's just like, this does not look like the confident Sentinels that we kind of had known through Iceland, leading up even to Berlin the first time around. But for Knights, you know, this is where you need to be able to reestablish yourself defensively. Don't let Sentinels just do whatever they want on the map. You've got to be able to take some space away here, I feel like.
I will say they have a 65% win rate on defense. It's attack that's been their problem when they've lost Haven. Here's the other issue, though. While they have a 4-2 record with this lineup on Haven, they have really not beaten anyone of value, like of the quality that plays VCT. They've all been smaller teams, so they have not really been tested yet on this map. That's my point.
You could even argue that when they were tested by decent teams, they got kind of blown out of the water in a way.
Yep.
But we get into this round. Defensively trying to hold strong is Skuba, but it's SicK who gets the double. Numbers good for Sentinel. Spike now making its way down. ZiF looking to possibly threaten early. It's a high stack here for SicK. The kill does come through, dashing away. And his ban will heal that up. Now it's on to the timing for dapr. ShahZam's going to back away, giving a little bit of space for these members to jump onto the site. And as they do, ShahZam makes his move. ZiF looking to follow up, but there will be no chance as ShahZam takes a double of his own and Sentinels take the bonus for their 3rd.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off what you were saying, you know, when Knights have played against like bigger brands, they had a huge loss to the Guard, and they lost in double overtime to Renegades. And again, all of their wins have been against very small teams.
Yeah.
And again, defense has usually been their bread and butter when they have had success in this map. And so if they're going to lose a bonus like this and allow Sentinels to have a pretty quick 4-0 start, that's really troublesome. You know, they're going to have to fight back early on their first buy. They can't let Sentinels just build momentum from the attack. But again, Sentinels very well known for playing both sides of this map very, very well.
Well, trouble starting to brew early here for the Knights. Although this time they could do a little bit of a play as Frosty. Just going 1-for-1 from this position would be fine. Well, the thing about this is, again, once you start to deal with Frosty, there will be obviously no follow-up utility to come through here. And zombs is very aware that this could be the case, but Frosty takes one with not even him yet. He's still alive. A chance maybe for more on ShahZam. Does connect onto one shot. And ShahZam is going to get some help. That will allow him a chance to get the shock dart out, and that will eventually be the end. In fact, it's not even just him falling. TenZ was able to find Genghsta at the back of the site as well.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, really well-managed situation there from Sentinels on that closet aggression. Not letting them get too much out of it. He got the 1 kill, but ShahZam holds him in place, gets a kill onto C-side as well, gets support and pave the way forward to what should be a pretty comfortable win. His only ban remains here with the Sheriff. While he has full health and most of his abilities, there's really not a whole lot going his way outside of that, as Spike will make its way into C and will be planted any moment. And so the 4-0 start will come through for Sentinels.
Yeah.
Ban shouldn't even really be able to find a fallen weapon, as I think Sentinels are pressing deep into the back lines to ensure that he cannot really find a way back in.
The scary thing here, too, is Ban is able to find at least one nice headshot in. Is, coming forward. Oh, goodness. Ban, opportunity for multiple? Surely not. Surely not. But Ban's going to use the Seekers here. TenZ is going to threaten early to at least deny. That'll leave a weapon to be collected. Not a lot of time on the clock here. But Ban moving, trying to check to see if TenZ has gone high. Not the case. It's TenZ on the low swing. Still an opportunity to find this elimination. TenZ will eventually take care of it, but stealing my point away from me with Ban and getting 3. What to say for Knights, it's, hey, you need to be able to find something to write home about because these rounds had been convincing for Sentinels until that point.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, just catches dapr with the one tap with the Sheriff. Gets the flash on the SicK, leads to 2 more with that Sheriff. Definitely made that run a lot more interesting than it should have been. So tip your hat to Ban for throwing a little bit of spice in that pot, adding a little bit extra cayenne. Not quite to the victory, but does force some rebuying out of Sentinels. And back to another full buy for both sides. Early A action here for both the defense and offense as SicK gets pushed off sewers.
And that's another moment where you're kind of looking to say, like, again, in these full buy rounds, you really just want to see Knights getting to a spot where they can contest almost to the similar thought that Frosty had the round before, but push back from sewers, like you mentioned, now leads to Sentinels getting through, or maybe a setup towards A. Long lurking at the moment. Not a part of this is zombs, but it's all about just trying to delay this as long as possible if you're Knights, because this is an inevitable hit.
Yeah, Knights do have 3 defenders here on site, though, and I think Sentinels only know about 1 or 2 of them, but they're going to start paving the way forward with that Hunter's Fury. Ziff still hiding in the corner. Seekers come out, though, to allow them to get some intel. There are defenders towards Sewers' position, but knowing's half the battle. They need to get out the frags, and now they start flowing in.
Catch that, Frosty.
I have the spike.
Skuba, now the last one left, 1v2 situation. Cosmic Divide will fade, as Skuba will have a chance to get in here. Actually slips through the star placement of zombs. Had an opportunity for the 1v1, but zombs able to get the gun up just in the nick of time. And it was looking a little bit dicey there for a second with the Hunter's Fury not really connecting and even trades on the site. Knights did everything you could possibly ask. It's just the follow-up and final fights not going their way at all.
I mean, again, it comes down to this. When you're Knights, when you were playing up against Sentinels on Ascent, you were taking those first steps to the swimming pool. Now you're in the deep end, man. Now you're on their side of that pool. Now Sentinels are where they're comfortable in turbulent waters. And Knights are going to have to find an adjustment quickly here because, again, when you have a team like Sentinels who are getting this much momentum early and they're equally as capable on both sides of the map, you know how much you struggled on attack. You've got to get something going in your defense. Unfortunately, this round probably not going to be it with just the Sheriffs, but something's got to happen. They need a timeout after this round or something, and they need to come up with some type of adjustment.
The biggest thing here is, like, even if you do start getting yourself on the scoreboard, look at the money that Sentinel still has. Let alone the fact that you still have free blades, you still have a free tour to possibly use, even if things get dicey. But they're going to be healthy for the next at least 4 rounds.
Yeah. And I think that round was just through brute force in the previous. I mean, they had 3 defenders on site. I think they even got the initial frag or 2, but Sentinels were just so good at trade fragging. And that's, again, one of their strengths. They have so many skilled players that once they use their utility and they get that space on site, they can bang with anybody, when it comes to just slugging it out. And eventually found a way to just control that site and win. And now they're kind of gifted a bit of a save round. They have lost a player, and there is a potential retake with this lockdown. Forces everyone off site.
Yep, Ban is able to go on that long angle where the first blood was. He's now got a rifle to play with. He should know that he's going to have contestants here long. The rest of the defense walks their way in. dapr pulls out the tour. Doesn't even need it. TenZ is just doing it all. He doesn't even need a sniper rifle at this point. He'll just do it all. Genghsta for 1. Genghsta, though, for 2. Opportunity for the 2v2. Not a lot of utility left here for Sentinels, but the gunfights are still a huge problem, and that's exactly why. The double was decent from Genghsta, but nothing else will follow, and Sentinels will get 6.
Yeah, lockdown pushes them all along C, and it sets up Ban with a flank to maybe make something happen, but they didn't really have a way to block vision through long C. And so when you have tour de force out for dapr, and you have plenty of comfortable players with rifles, and spikes planted for them, there's really not a whole lot that you can do if you're Knights, and they do call that timeout at a good time. And it's just tough to really know what the adjustment even could be. I mean, maybe being willing to play for retake a little bit more. I feel like, last round they tried to fight on A site and they got caught. They tried to get aggressive at sewers. They got pushed back. They haven't really been able to have success with aggression and just taking forward angles. So at that point, essentially, how this map plays out, you kind of have to maybe just be willing to play for retake a little bit more and kind of take your chances there, because they're just getting out fragged all across the board. I mean, it's just been a tough start. And it's just hard at this moment to really know, like, what's the key thing that we could change other than maybe trying to play for retake a little bit more. You know, that's all I could really come up with. It's so early. They're already so far behind.
It's like, even if you're just defaulting to holding on to a lot of your utility to play for default kind of re-attacks and, like, you know, being able to take away the post plant, like, if Sentinels start to recognize, I mean, they haven't really needed to spend a ton of utility to get onto any of the sites that they've played for so far. So if they're recognizing that they could walk onto site and hold utility of their own, like, their post plant just becomes that much stronger. Like, yeah, it really is kind of a war on multiple fronts right now. And yeah, we need to see something, I would say, right here, right now for Knights if they want to have any kind of consideration for the map.
Yeah, they need to get something going here defensively. They have that Killjoy utility set up at front B, which is nice because it looks like TenZ is looking to go for that dash into a B plant, which is oh so common on this map. He spots the alarm bot, shuts that down, takes out the turret as well, gets in, starts the plant, and we'll be able to do so safely.
I was going to say, the Nanoswarm was never toggled. The Hunter's Fury comes through looking to maybe stack up some damage, but
nothing.
It's TenZ already out. And so now the Cosmic Divide's going to come through trying to recontest this, but you still have shock darts available for ShahZam. And you still have players that offensively are still contesting from the front side. XXiF, though, an unbelievable quick scope onto TenZ for the first elimination. Genghsta looking to put some pressure on towards the defuse. Sentinels looking to check this. Flash comes out halfway on the lockdown, but here comes the follow-ups. 3v1. SicK last one left. Trying to hold in the backside of sight, but will not be allowed to. And, well, Dust, put your coaching hat on. The retake is good for Knights.
Yeah, it's good because that Cosmic Divide is just so powerful in that situation. It basically forces Sentinels to play through it with Guiding Lights and just hope that they can somehow get back into B site and disrupt the spike diffuse. And you can see that TenZ was trying to also do a level change, but XXiF catches it. And that kill was so big because if TenZ is able to get up top and gets the kill onto XXiF, all of a sudden Sentinels have a way back into B site. They actually have a chance to disrupt the retake. But when TenZ goes down, and Knights are just able to hold that Cosmic Divide wall and just constantly be prepared for those Guiding Lights and just turn away and then come back and fight. They won the key battles they needed and they get around on the board. But now they got to string something together, man.
Yeah. A lot of work still to be done here. So you feel like the must-win round in number 7 turns into a follow-up must-win here in number 8.
Especially if they get reset. I mean, their economy is still in tatters. Could be right back to saving if this doesn't go their way. Look at how much space SicK already has towards A site. He's
Walks
gonna
into
walk
site.
up.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because the Trailblazer went sewers. He's just walking up. Oh, Ban, though, checks it. So good.
Good isolation to follow on to dapr as well. So now it's on to TenZ with this Blade Storm to jump on in. Updraft first and foremost. Ban is just holding the same angle, though TenZ not expecting that. Turns into a double for Ban. XXiF now on the way forward. Good with the operator for 1. And Genghsta follows up beautifully. Knights only dropping the sole defender at A. Get their second round.
Yeah, that's so big. Ban knows that there was a timing because he was checking sewers with Trailblazer. He knew there was a chance that maybe someone had crept up A because he was alone. And he catches it onto SicK. Such a pivotal kill. If SicK gets that entry, things could have been so much different. Also, great pinch onto dapr inside middle. So just some key team play there from Knights to get themselves a second round in a row. Kind of alleviates their economic pressure just a smidge. Sentinels, though, still buying. Have a couple of ults available now as well with Seekers and Hunter's Fury. Can really put on that quick hit now as they push the op off yet again at Seaside. And they're going to chase him down with this Hunter's Fury. But good dash.
Oh, goodness. The updraft was not exactly perfect, but skuba actually keeps things safe, and then XXiF turns the aim back over towards Garage Alley for a second. dapr still in the same position as ShahZam is able to at least get one confirmed trade, but with this pressure, dapr's got to go to the rendezvous and finds himself a free angle onto Ban, but XXiF still holding strong, denies Sentinel's intention, which was a push through C long. Last peek, not going to come through. XXiF for the triple, and Knights have all of a sudden strung together 3.
Yeah, they have used that timeout to good effect. I think that Sentinels were banking so much on landing that final blow on XXiF with that Hunter's Fury that they were going to be able to just, really surge onto C site. But XXiF stands firm, and skuba plays deep inside the smoke and catches the other end of that attack. And so Sentinels just get absolutely shut down on all fronts. XXiF with the triple. And that is a big, confident win from Knights. Now Sentinels are saving on share. It's a chance for Knights to now find a 4th in a row. This is a big pivot from Knights when it comes to momentum.
Oh. Maybe a bit of a heat check coming on here from XXiF, getting aggressive even through the flash. Sends his own cloud burst out, giving him a bit of a one-way here in terms. Second guiding light. SicK stuck in a bit of a corner. Doesn't make a difference. Still connects through the wallbang. And his ban will help him create a little bit of space. SicK is looking to chase things down, but it's not looking good on this approach over through the A site. It's a 3v5 from here on out.
Yeah, not much Sentinels could do in this round. Low weaponry. dapr also got caught on a lurk inside B by a nano swarm, of all things. Not quite sure how that happened. Maybe we'll catch a replay of that. Either way, Knights have great positioning all across the map. Everything going swimmingly as far as they're concerned. Sentinels, while they do have Spike, that's really the only thing they have going for them at this point. Is they're going to try to start working up mid to B. A turret will catch on to this. And we'll give Knights the information they need. They might still get a Spike plant. Maybe, but no, never mind.
Goodness.
SIF from Link cuts that off.
Wake up and have yourself a map here, SIF. Eventually taken care of, but the trade's good, as you would expect. ShahZam keeps it interesting. Takes a flash to the face. Backs up just a touch. Frosty on the same angle. Don't give ShahZam multiple 1v1s. We've seen him do stuff like this before, and nearly does he get a chance at ban as well.
Oh,
so
man.
These pistol rounds have been too much so nail-bitingly close throughout all three maps we've had so far, Dust.
Yeah, those sheriffs can pack a punch, especially in the hands of a skilled player like Sentinels have in spades. But again, good dictating the pace here from SIF at short A. Rotates over as what Link denies Spike access to site. Yeah, ShahZam certainly had a chance here to make things interesting. Had a couple of big kills. They gave him some 1v1s. You don't want to be doing that. Not against ShahZam, but now Sentinels back onto the full buy with 2 rounds left to play this half and still a chance to have a pretty big lead. They've done a good job on their gun rounds denying SIF early picks. I will say that.
Well, this time, even though there's not necessarily a ton of early pressure for Knights defensively, at least they are able to move forward far enough to get Frosty a lockdown. Genghsta spam down to 72 HP. Aldrone will try to re-clear out Garage here, but all it really does is establish that the threat is 100% imminent. SIF backed up, has to go to the Blaze as he's caught on sight and revealed. Will drop skuba in the back corner. Doesn't finish the second kill. Oh, he tried to transfer just a touch too early, and SicK will punish. Cosmic Divide coming through. Van and Frosty, the last 2 defenders left.
And that stun stops him from trying to punish around the wall before it finishes blooming. He now tries to stun and guiding light himself and does get the flash here. Gets a kill, but Sentinels mop up from that point forward. Such a strong C-burst play from Sentinels. Again, they have that explosiveness about them with this lineup where they can just go and swing in. But there was that moment where skuba went unchecked at double stack, and you thought maybe, just maybe, he was going to be able to disrupt this thing. You know, he waited patiently while TenZ created space. He gets up close, but he just cannot get that transfer. He thought he had the kill, and he didn't on the SicK, and that wound up being his demise and sealed the deal for Sentinels with 1 round left to play this half.
But the thing is, even with how the start had gone, I was about to say, like, a 5-7 correction here for Knights would be almost miraculous in form, and you thought for a second that they maybe had a look at 6-6 if you do get that double from inside the site. So a small missed opportunity, but still I think largely Knights fans will say finding 5 would be one heck of a way to respond after the really hard start that they had.
Yeah, good Trailblazer detects that the Jet is opping in sewer, so they decide to put that pressure on front B instead, kind of bypassing that. TenZ with such a big kill on the skuba. You thought that his days were numbered with that tag, but he's able to get away. Oh my goodness, pressure comes through long A from Ban, but now C site is free. And dapr's cutting off the rotation that late. Oh, he gets caught though. What a shot from SIF, and now a lockdown for the retake.
The fact that SIF even expects that in the first place is unbelievable. Lockdown comes through, but it's immediately destroyed. TenZ responds once again, playing aggressively through the defensive spawn. Frosty, the next contestant, nothing there. And Sentinels finish the half 8-4 Dust.
Yeah, a dominant half, eased a little bit by Knights fitting in 4 rounds, but still Sentinels stand firmly in front. We'll see if they can keep that up after a short break.
against NRG that
Clear though, there are a lot of
in Haven because
Started pioneering on this bot, continues letting utility no
Map 1 only at 19,000 likes as well. So
that same composition from earlier.
and that will on himself take map number 2 at 13-5.
Yeah. A nice first map from Knights, but Sentinels say not just yet, buddy.
And I mean, even if you do.
Decent attempt for Knights to recover, but the news doesn't get any better as we swap the sides here, does it, Dust?
No, I feel like when Knights have one, they've been really reliant upon big defensive halves, you know, like 9 or more rounds defensively, where they didn't really have to do much on attack to get the dub. And when they have played against better teams, they have struggled in attack. They only got 2 attacking rounds in the first half against the Guard in the open qualifiers for this tournament. And that really is what caused them to just get blown to bits by Guards. So the fact that they struggled defensively here, now they have to do so much work on the attack against a team like Sentinels, who are just as strong on their defense as they are on the attacking side of Haven. I'm just a little bit concerned that Knights aren't going to have it in them, but we'll see. Maybe they've done something in practice lately to try to shape things back up.
I was going to say, you know, hey, we were a bit surprised with how formidable Knights came out in map number 1. And hey, putting together a string of rounds through their defensive half gives them a chance. TenZ, this timing. Flash comes through. Here goes TenZ. Not going to get through, though. SicK actually falls, so TenZ is not able to actually capitalize on the initial flash play, and Knights with a numbers advantage and all of mid-map, essentially, as the regrowth comes through to fully heal.
This has gone exactly how they wanted inside, but now they're actually back off. Now ShahZam is pushing through sewers, and he might be able to get a little bit of a cheeky read on this with this frenzy up close, maybe even good for a kill or two. As TenZ actually picks one off as well at B, and now ShahZam can strike, but he just misses everything, and now A site will be taken. Zombs, though, actually decides to come in and play with the frenzy. Could he disrupt this?
Nanostorm pushes that one side, guiding light in the other, but Skuba takes the head right off of Zombs. And what a pistol this has been from Knights. All of the early pressure from Sentinels denied. dapr has existed through the Nebula. TenZ up top, a little bit of a fight coming through, but as dapr falls, it's all up to TenZ. What can you do? Tries to get rid of the sentry turret. A little more resilient than I thought he thought it was.
Yeah, he's...
And yeah, everyone's just looking up, dude. Everyone's just, it's no way.
Yeah, bro, they're all stargazing down there. Just waiting for them to come out, and that's going to be it. And yeah, you feel like everything rested on those 2 frenzy plays. It was ShahZam deep in sewers, and then Zombs committing back to site. And neither one of those came through. And that's what really wins the round for Knights, on top of just shutting down that mid-aggression early where TenZ was not allowed to wreak any havoc through Garage. And wow. It's probably the theme song that is playing for most people after watching that from ShahZam. But, you know, still a nice lead. Losing pistols not the end of the world, but that's exactly what Knights needed to get back into this.
So do you prefer the Price is Right losing horn or the Pac-Man death sound when you're watching catastrophic fails?
I'm going to go with Pac-Man death sound. It's just a classic.
Okay.
Right?
That's fair. Well, this round through, Sentinels 4-man stacking at least largely over towards A, and they're looking to lurk maybe a little bit longer through A long. Clear some space, the guiding light. That will at least allow a chance to at least get, you would figure, an ultimate orb, and that will be the case. SicK is able to collect and then back away. And now it's on to the rendezvous headhunter. Shots for dapr. Sure, why not? Gets the first opportunity for more. As he gets pulled into the vacuum of the gravity well, he will relinquish the site and Knights will move forward.
Yeah, good opening kill to set up a potential retake. He didn't really lose anything for that frag. dapr is able to get control back of Garage pretty early as well to give them a little bit of route back in on this retake. Trailblazer will also start clearing a way forward here. Spots one on the left, the double stack that dappr's trying to chase after, but so far a good counter from Ban with his own guiding light.
Knights are not playing a post plant deep. They just want to hold on to the site. This is going to get a little mixy, but the first 3 kills good for Knights. The last 2 surely to follow, and boy will they. Good clean hold from the Knights. It does come at a little bit of a cost, but hey, you got the spike planted, and you will likely have a chance to purchase up.
And that's actually another question I'm going to have with dapr on the chamber. He was so well known for playing these different setups on C with Cypher, where he'd like double cage the middle of the site, just play back, buy time, stall, set up the retakes, get a couple of kills, maybe playing through his cages. He doesn't have that capability anymore, you know, playing the chamber. He's going to have a different approach to anchoring this C side, and that's something I'll be curious to see play out throughout this half. This is the bonus of Knights, how big this would be to convert to close this gap on the scoreboard.
Going to play off the one rifle of Skuba. Spectre for Ban, pistols the rest of the way. Zombs in actually a pretty considerable amount of trouble here. He gets pulled into the gravity well, gets darted, and that will be a weapon collected for 100% free. A bit surprising to say the least. The trademark was a mere inconvenience at worst, and that's going to lead to a spike plant.
Yeah, great shock dart comes in, but I mean, you wonder if it's really going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Already a man down. Knights has such good post plant positioning, but okay, look at this.
Clean coming through. Frosty going to be overwhelmed, and as Genghsta and Skuba will back up to play this a little bit differently. TenZ is already sticking for the defuse. No one is quite able to get here to deny that halfway point, but as Skuba finds one, it allows a chance for Genghsta to try to swing. Regrowth coming through. Still plenty of time for Sentinels to keep playing around with this. There's the recon vault, but nothing to come afterward. Spike already defused as SicK finds the final kill and Sentinels recover.
Yeah, a little bit scary when they lose that first player. Zombs gets trapped at back to site by the grav well, gets cleared. Quick 5-on-4 for Knights. Comfortable post plant positions at long C. Seemed like things were going well, but a really good little sweep there from TenZ and dapr to bring that one back. And now ult available for TenZ. Skuba is going to have Cosmic Divide first full buy versus buy around here. Again, big moment for Knights. If they want to try to come back into this one, this is where you have to get it started. Otherwise, you're back to saving. Sentinels are all of a sudden at 11. They're right there next to series point, and it gets really tough on you. Oh, is that spotted?
I don't think I mean, XXiF is looking hardcore at this position, and maybe TenZ gives the call of, yeah, I need the Trailblazer to get out of here. Yeah, Cloudburst will come through, and actually the exchange of damage all favors Sentinels defensively. XXiF down to low HP, and yeah, here we go.
This is scary. They might not check it. Oh! The guiding light plays bodyguard, and Frosty gets the kill.
There's no way, dude. How many pellets did that bird just eat for breakfast?
Oh my god, dude.
And XXiF is able to finally come through. He got regrowthed up, and TenZ will fall. 5v3. Ban still playing a little bit of a gatekeep here through Garage. What has happened here? Sentinels, do you even try for this? SicK is going to try to flash forward, but he'll be denied as XXiF is able to get the wall bang, and ShahZam has no option.
Bruh, all right. So this reference is not going to... There's going to be like one person who gets this reference in the whole wide world, but I have to do it.
Might be me.
Yeah, there was this very famous clip. There's a famous pitcher named Randy Johnson, left-handed pitcher from Bay.
I know exactly where you're going with this. I know exactly where you're going with this.
So maybe more than one will get it. He throws a beaver fastball and blows up a seagull that flies in the middle between him and the batter. That's basically what that guiding light did. But it served a purpose. And that allowed them to get into Garage and take down dapr before his judge could dish out any verdicts against him. Look at this.
Dude.
Oh my god, man.
We've seen some unreal stuff, but that one may take the cake.
That is pretty great, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Because getting that space was so big. So massive. Now Sentinels are on the save. Oh,
deep breaths, everyone. This has been a chaotic map, by the way. At least half so far. We've seen some unruly things start to occur. But a 9-7 tally. dapr playing forward, already rendezvousing back into sight. And with that, Knights can make a choice as far as what they want to do. Aldrone sent through late defensively, and it does probably at least catch that Genghsta's in his position, but maybe nothing more.
Yeah, Trailblazer now lead the way into A site, going to clear out all these corners and let them know, okay, Sentinels are having to play a little bit of retake here. But now these counter shock darts are slowing down their progress onto A site, allowing Sentinels to get into better positions. And look at this, TenZ ShahZam clamp down TenZ over the top with the ult for the first. And ShahZam chimes in as well. And Ban gets caught also. No way.
Ban plays forward, trying to take away the link, and now all of a sudden TenZ has the freedom to come back into sight. There's no way it happens that easily for Sentinels retake.
Oh man, it's just the counter utility from Sentinels was so good. Knights lead away forward onto A with the Trailblazer, but then the shock darts come in. They get a little bit stalled, and it sets TenZ to go up and over with the daggers and land a devastating blow that ShahZam piggybacks off of for a frag of his own. Oh my, that's a tough round to lose if you're Knights trying to make a comeback. Look at this from TenZ, just over the top. See you later.
It's just Ban's position to move forward here when the rest of the team was trying to set up a post plant passively was curious to say the least.
Yeah, that's definitely a point that I'm sure will get brought up on the desk as well, perhaps, as we are going to see Knights try to respond quick here. Double sniper setup, though, for Sentinels, or is it just a single? Yeah, I think it's just a tour de force. So 10 still on a rifle here at C.
Here.
Well, everything comes to a very uncharacteristic quiet here through this second half. No one playing forward. A lot of respect given as the tension has definitely surmounted to some pretty climactic levels. But no utilities being thrown out either. Everyone's just waiting for someone to do something, and it will be the Trailblazer to start us off.
And dapr just trying to hold on with the tour de force. Actually snaps all the way back. I'm surprised he didn't keep the angle. It didn't seem like he was really that threatened. Now he's going to try to go back now with no info? This is really crazy. Takes the slightly safer spot on sewers instead of going back for the re-peek at long, but is going to get pushed off by the owl drone. That's going to leave ShahZam in a tough spot where he's just going to have to fall back with him and play for retake, especially with this lockdown coming in.
Absolutely have to bail. dapr is actually still holding.
He's got rendezvous again.
Yeah. Seekers will come out defensively also to put some pressure on, but this is all just a fake as Knights will quickly rewrap.
Rotation.
I think it does too, especially this last one that's still clearing out A long. Now zombs in towards garage, good for one. TenZ up top, the next one to be tested on this defense. And from the elevated position, he's able to burst right back away after his first elimination. Skuba trying to still work forward, but Knights are being picked apart. Oh no, dapr on the way through gets more. Not a lot of time, and it's dapr who just puts the nail in swiftly to the coffin. 11-7, and now Knights in a dangerous spot.
The lockdown gets canceled out by the harness tree, and they decide to back off and try to go up through middle and go for a C split, but Seekers reads that. TenZ still playing top C position. He gets the kill on the first player out garage, and it was an absolutely brilliant flash from SicK that allowed TenZ to stay settled back C and come out for more action and get more frags. That was such a beautiful sequence of team play to just let TenZ get even more out of that elevated position. You know, he's able to dash backwards, cover himself with smokes, buy time for SicK's flash to come in from back halls, keep him established, keep him gunning down players running up long C. That was just such good handling of a chaotic moment there from Sentinels. Just beautiful stuff. And that just sets Knights way back now. They still have credits to make some purchases. They do have Ziff on Blade, so he doesn't have to buy a weapon. So they could still put together a pretty solid buy here, but it's going to be a little less than ideal. And Sentinels are knocking on the door of series point at this point. So
how much do you feel like you have to play for this Hunter's Fury being earned as well? I think that's the other question.
Yeah, I mean, maybe smoking top C, getting that C orb definitely is usually the safest bet on trying to get an orb on this map on the attacking side to try to set that up. And I think that's probably what they're going to go for here is looks like we are going to see the Sova drifting over towards long C position, and Asher could probably just drop a star up top and just try to set him up to grab that. They definitely need anything that they can get here. They're actually going for Sheros and Spectre here. They're not going all the way in.
Yeah.
Potentially setting us up to play for overtime.
We'll see. That was a lot of trust for Ziff to connect. There's the Owl Drone first thing forward. Ziff using it as a bit of a bodyguard. Two defenders on the site, though, for Sentinel. Ziff over the top. Does not find it.
No way.
It's an immediate rendezvous away at the last second. Zombs still holding on to sight. Gets 3. And TenZ has information that Frosty's close. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Ziff.
He goes up and over, and you think he has that man dead to rights on the opposing side double stack box, and instead he gets absolutely nothing out of that. Oh, a flawless Prime Gaming round here. Look at him go over. Oh, I think I got you, dapr. No
Unreal.
rendezvous, and then he gets busted by zombs in the back of the site by platform. Oh my goodness, dude. Sentinels just a step ahead, man. Playing a different dimension of chess.
I want to say dapr also deletes the owl drone before it tags zombs too. So it's like a 2-for-1. You hear the updraft, you commit to killing off the drone, and you rendezvous away to stay safe. It's like, bro.
See you later.
Yeah.
Again, welcome to the deep end of Sentinels map pool.
Yeah, for real. Hunter's Fury going to be spent off of the initial tag of the owl drone. Good damage gets confirmed, but no kills. Regrowth, you feel like will be there to get zombs back to at least full health without the armor. And for Knights, really not much done there off of that initial ultimate play.
And ShahZam has now the A cross still under his possession, so they can hold firm on this garage and B defense with TenZ elevated. Gets that first tap onto Zip. No ability for Knights to respond, so it's just free pickings. dapr even gets some bonus damage off there through middle. And this is looking grim.
Flash through, but no challenge defensively, as Knights do continue to push their way through link. dapr already on, like you mentioned. Still have a number of defense members here for Sentinels, but it's going to be Ban and Skuba that take care of everybody, 2 apiece, and that's good for a plan, and likely with that the round.
That's a bold win for Knights, you know, trying to come back into overtime from 5 rounds behind up against 4 defenders on site, and you mop them up pretty much in pristine fashion. Didn't really lose anything along the way, setting up ShahZam in what should be an impossible 1v3.
I was going to go for it. He's full economy, so why not? Make something special happen. Show up on Reddit. We'll see. Sentry turret deleted. Shock dart will largely connect onto Frosty. Second one may actually finish him. Oh, he's down to about 1 HP. And ShahZam does find the lurker of Ban around the back, but can do nothing more. So Knights, it's a 2v4 essentially on site that get them their 8th, and they're still alive here in map 3.
Yeah, that's wild because they lose that initial pick at middle of TenZ. They try to pivot into a C play, but I mean, Sentinels are already there with 4 players looking to really hold. They had a player at plat, they had a player back halls, I think 1 center site. So they had good positioning to stop that cross from garage, but just brute force there from Knights gets them around, keeps them alive in this series. They're still 4 behind, forcing OT. Op is now out for TenZ. Cosmic Divide available for zombs. Skuba 1 away from his own Cosmic Divide. TenZ looking to get aggro in sewers.
Oh, but they already get through. And he gets the chance to say he gets Genghsta, but do Sentinels realize that there are players at A-Long? Well, now they will. The owl drone will scout it out.
Look at this.
TenZ quickly making a play over, but does get pushed back. That was getting a little bit too dangerous, and at least for Sentinels.
The swagger to go peek off of that drone. If you would have gotten a kill there, you just feel like that might be one of the final nails in the coffin, but no harm, no foul. No additional frag gain, but still Knights find themselves a man behind, trying to pivot into more of a C play. Trailblazer defensively is going to clear out middle and get a little bit of intel on this garage push.
The Nebulas all encompass the choke points, but Sentinels are already, again, still inside Zif. Huge first blood in this engagement towards Zombs, but dapr, the double, but nothing behind it. Frosty confirms the site. And with that, also the spike being planted. TenZ and ShahZam in a 2v2. The shock dart's chewing away a lot of the health so far, leaving Skuba a 1v2 to extend the map. Playing from Link. TenZ over the top. Not gonna get the best of ShahZam though in the first point of contact. And Sentinels will win 13-8 in 3 maps, 2 of which were very tight, but in the end, Sentinels just too good in their map pool.